Hey everyone, welcome to the session by Estella on how to design, build, and foster ecosystems. As to introduce Estella, she is an innovation economist, educator, community builder, and impact entrepreneur based in Vienna. She is also the founder of GoodStartup School, a virtual incubator that aims to help women and underrepresented communities. So I'll let Estella take it from here, and Estella, the stage is all yours. I'll see you guys later in the session.
Super, thank you, and hello everybody. My name is Asetila Köstinger, calling from Vienna. Thank you for the presentation. I am an innovation economist, and I have a focus on sustainability. And I help startups and SMEs to build and to design business models, impact business models for the economy of the future. I'll be covering these topics today. I'll try to see COVID as an agent for change. The dilemma, the biggest dilemma we have now, degrowth versus unlimited growth, and to see ecosystems and how can we do better. COVID, everybody has been worldwide has been affected by COVID, and some complain, we all complain because it has changed our lives, but we can also see it as an agent for change. And if we try to see the world before COVID, we can say that it was not sustainable at all. It was not sustainable because it was at some point dangerous. We saw the Earth Overshoot Day, and we saw that last year it was on August 22nd, so it was a bit postponed. And we see we consume today 1.8 planets. Some countries consume already 4 planets in 1 year, so all the resources the planet has to give. It's polluted. These are tweet pictures from March 2020, and like a couple of weeks after the lockdown in Italy, you could see dolphins in Venezia canals in Venedig. So this shows us that, and the small fishes, and you can see till the end of the canal. So the world was really polluted. Very unfair. While we have 1.8 billion people at the bottom of the pyramid, 4 billion at the bottom of the pyramid, but out of them 1 billion in economic deprivation. On the other hand, we have around 1 billion people stuck in bullshit jobs without purpose for what they're doing. We also saw that the world is fragile. A small virus broke it down, so it destroyed the whole world, just a small virus. That means it was fragile. Most economies broke down. But still, during the COVID, we could buy everything what we needed, from milk to toilet paper, from books and pens, and sushi or tofu or bread. Still, it broke down. Did it mean that it broke down for the things we did not buy, that we did not need? Really? And a lot of people are thinking, when the COVID is over, I keep hearing all the time, when this is over, when is this over? Maybe this will never be over. We have to live with it. When COVID is over, the nostalgic say, when we go back to normality, but maybe we'll never go back to normality, or maybe we should not go back to normality and take this situation of today, how it is, to start new, to create everything new. Not creating what we had before. Let's build new things. Let's build new businesses. The economy of the future is the best way to start now. Before COVID, it was hard to build new things, also to innovate, because there was already a lot there. Now, unfortunately, a lot of businesses like tourism, the automobile industry, logistics, raw materials, textile and fashion are destroyed, are totally destroyed. So we can totally build new things. But what options do we have in this new start? And I have researched a bit, and there are 2 big options. There's this big dilemma of the post-COVID start. The one is the degrowth movement. So they are promoting the degrowth and the economic downsize of the economy. And on the other side, we have this continuous or unlimited growth movement that we keep doing, as we did now, more. And there is a big crash between these two. Let's see what do the degrowth economic downsides, what do they want, and how do they see it? So Practically the degrowth movement says that the societal prosperity should not be measured by well-being, should be measured by well-being and not by GDP. And if I recall a quote of our president of Robert Kennedy in 1968, he said, between others, that the GDP, this number that every country measures itself on the yearly growth, it's measuring everything except what makes our life worthwhile. For example, if there is an oil spill or a oil catastrophe in some sea or ocean, if companies come and scratch it and clean it up, this services and products will increase the GDP. But if a family, a parent, young family, two parents stay at home, don't go to work because they take time off to raise their child, this will decrease the GDP. That means maybe we measure things that are not making our life worthwhile. The economic downsize movement says having less. We should have less in order to have more. So we should have less production, we should have less transport, less trade, less comfort, less travel, less lifestyle, less energy. And why? Because they say so. So more children in Shanghai and Mumbai have lung damage about the pollution of mass production, so that in the West, the rich man can buy more toys for the rich. That's why we should downsize and totally degrowth. But we have seen examples in the past of the degrowth, and they did not pretty work very well. We have seen them in the past, but also in the future, in the present. So there was the Chinese example of the past, or the Cambodia. Now also the COVID. The COVID totally slowed down the economy. Examples of utopia, like the Handmaid's Tale, that shows how could it be in the total degrowth scenario. The total economic downsize would not only bring recession, but also to bring bankruptcy of thousands of companies connected to high employment, social chaos, or unrest, more poverty, and maybe more migration, and so on. On the other hand, the continuous growth is pretty much what we have been doing the last 100 years. So growing, unlimited growing, having more in order to have more. So more production, more transport, more trade, more comfort, more travel, more lifestyle, more energy, and so on. And this is all attributed to the Homo economicus, this consistently rational and narrow self-interested who pursue their subjectively defined ends optimally. That's the Homo economicus thought. Still, this attitude of the last 100 years has brought us to this, our planet being on fire. We have environmental decline, soil degradation. We apparently have only 60 harvests left. Sorry, excuse me for that. Global warming, pollution, a lot of biodiversity loss, reduced energy resources. We have a peak of oil, consumerism, and so many more. The climate crisis, that most people still say climate change, but it's not a change, it's more of a crisis, because if everything happens else that happens in other domains, like the COVID is a crisis, any political crisis, small or big, it's a crisis. So we keep saying climate change, but it's really a crisis. We waste resources, we waste so many resources, and these resources then come back to haunt the biodiversity. And I would like to show you this. This is a small cat. It's a digital art cat that was sold for $590,000 recently. It's digital art sold in the blockchain, in the Ethereum and network. And there are people who would buy this for $500,000. There are also more expensive arts that go to a couple of $1,000,000. But so there are people who really enjoy themselves buying this digital art. But on the other hand, the Ethereum network, that where this all art, this NFT are traded or purchased, uses 33 terawatt of hours of electricity. It's a huge amount. 33 terawatt of electricity is the whole electricity a country like Serbia might use. So what's the third option? Maybe the third option is to have a sustainable growth, so to grow sustainably and to grow together, so to create this ecosystem. building this ecosystem instead of these ecosystems, which we have been doing so far. We are guests of this planet, and we should behave maybe as guests and try to build the future of the economy in order to have an economy for the future. And the start maybe would be by accepting that we are ecologically, socially, and economically interconnected to each other. If we see the developments of the last years, we see that in the 19th century, businesses could only, or doing good was something that was mutually exclusive. So either you could do good or be good, so be profitable. In the last 20 years, we have changed that, and doing good and doing well, so doing profit and doing good, it can go together, hand in hand, so they can exist alongside. And most probably the future would be an impact economy, where we can enforce profit and impact can reinforce and can need each other, where impact is also a value driver. I've tried to put some of the, in a very simple matrix, the companies of the future or the businesses of the future, and trying to be a rock star. So, you know, we on one side we have doing profit, so doing well, creating a lot of profit, and on the other side doing good for the environment, for the people, and for the planet. And there is the lowest part where neither do good nor well are these wanderers. Everybody's wondering what are they doing still in the business place, why they're not out of business. Then we might have those who do just good, so do impact, but they don't care much about profit. So far it has been relayed on the NGOs. And on the top part, we have the earth saboteurs, those who only focus on profit and they do not do impact. They never cared about impact. And sooner or later, they'll be also out of business. And the best position would be to be in the rockstar position where you do well and good. So either the earth saboteurs and the lower part, the NGOs and triaggers would have to come up, or they will go, will have to be out of business. If we check of the businesses that have existed in 1950, 70% of them don't exist today. And maybe the half of the businesses that exist today will not exist in 2050. If we all exist in the future. Good. So if we check again, I go back to COVID again, and if we see COVID again, there was the whole world, everybody took measures together to flatten the curve. So we knew that it can grow and it can go explode up. So we together created collectively a collective response to prevent and to improve the situation. So flatten the curve. Maybe we can do the same for the planet, right? So here is the line of the Paris Agreement of the interrupted line. And if we do not do anything, business as usual, the curve would go like this. We really need to flatten the curve now. But we can only do it together. So while the past has already thought a lot of this individualistic behavior, the ecosystem, so it's me on top of it and I, everything underlays. The future should be ecosystems where we are central to the biodiversity, to the ecosystem, to the planet, to the environment, to the rest of the planet. Ecosystems, it's all about me, so I need more for me. I have centralized everything, resources. All is invented outside, inside me, inside my organization. Hyper competition, we have to, it's fight. Competition is a very strong fight. We have to spend and we create trash. We have one-way cooperation, one way, where all goes one way, and there is the win-lose. So I win, you lose. When we think about ecosystems, it's more about us. So we think more balanced. We have a centralized system. Everything can be invented everywhere. We have a hyper collaboration instead of hyper competition. We use and we renew our resources, our products. We have a two-way or many-to-many cooperation, collaboration, and we work on win-wins. We can only reach this together. We are all in charge. And every one of us, as a person, as a civil society, as a government, and this is the orchestra, Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra, and this is an ecosystem that functions with a dirigent, but they can also function without a dirigent, and they function like, even if the dirigent is not there, they watch each other over the shoulders, what's the other one doing, and they play their part. So, and exactly like this orchestra, we can build ecosystems, innovation ecosystems, business and entrepreneurship ecosystems to create and to co-create together. Yeah, together we all can only be stronger, and you cannot break this spaghetti pan if you put them together. Very important is how and by whom the entrepreneurial ecosystems, innovation ecosystems of the future are created, shapes the future of our economy. That means we have to intentionally design values, culture, diversity, SDGs as all important factors, so we can create and design and build new resilient economies. And a closing remark would be that protecting the environment is more profitable than destroying it for all of us. Yeah, I would say thank you, and I would be happy if I have questions or remarks.
Thank you so much, Asetila, for the wonderful presentation. I think the audiences were deeply engaged. I do have a question from the audience for you. It's from Khushbu Jain from Pixis One. She asks, what about product design opportunities, especially for women?
Yeah, very good question. What is very unfortunate is that I don't know if you are aware of the SDGs, all the audience, but there are the 17 SDGs, and one of the SDGs is called SDG 5, and it stands for gender equality. And I always wondered, this is a great thing that it is there, but still it's 2021, and women are 50% of world populations. So we need an SDG number 5, so we can assure quality and equality for half of the population. First thought. Second thought is women are not only 50% of the world populations, but they are responsible for up to 85% of purchase decision. That means 85% of purchase decision in a household or in the economy of a country are done by women, including new cars, by the way. So till the last century, mainly guys bought their own cars themselves, so they were deciding themselves. Now women are also. So 85% of the world population is responsible for a purchase decision. But if we see startup companies that are newly designed, only 9% of these startups are female. 9 in Austria. In Silicon Valley, which is the best case, is 20%. I don't know in other countries, but I think 20% is top Silicon Valley. So that means women are not involved in product design. They are not involved in solution design for their own self. So still, if we look at the future, they say, guys, men designed a lot of things for women, like from the lipstick, typical women products like the lipstick, the high heels, the tampons, and so on. And maybe there were not women designers then. Today, we have to stand, women, young girls have to stand and start designing their solutions themselves. It has never been easy to create products and solutions on your own. So ladies, girls, stand up. You can create your own solutions. Building a startup is easier than ever. To validate, to create, all the knowledge is out there. I have also created an initiative called We Do 5. We do, like we do, and the 5 is for fifth gender equality, where we support young women and girls to build impact startups. So product design for women, product design from women to women everywhere. Yes, please stand up and do your design your solutions. And guys, please, it's not just fair, but it's very smart to have girls in your startup teams, in your innovation teams, because you are designing products for them. Unless you are only designing pissoirs, then you don't have to have women opinions to it.
Thank you so much for answering that, Asetila. Do we have any other questions? You guys can also raise your hand and connect with the speaker on stage. There's a raise hand button like this on your screen. Okay, do we have any other requests? Awesome. Thank you so much, Asetila, for that wonderful presentation. It was really nice listening to you.
Thank you. And I wish you a good tech fair, and keep in touch. You can find me in LinkedIn if you want. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at the next session.